The Obama campaign has a favorite political trivia question, and it's one I bet Al Gore just doesn't appreciate. Who was the last person elected president of the United States despite losing his home state? The answer in a moment, and here's a hint. It wasn't Al Gore, of course. He would have been president if he had won Tennessee, but he didn't. Team Obama loves the question because polls show President Obama, look at that, with a big lead over Mitt Romney in the Republicans' home state of Massachusetts. Still, the Obama campaign heaped big attention on the Bay State today, not because it's worried about winning there, but because it wants to convince you not to believe what Governor Romney promises now.
Look at Mitt Romney's record here in Massachusetts and pull back the curtain. He's not what he seems.
And leading that rally on the Massachusetts State House steps, a raid on Governor Romney's old territory, was the president's senior advisor, David Axelrod, who joins us now from Boston. David, my word, not yours, but I listened to you as you led your presentation there, your criticism of Governor Romney's record, and you're saying essentially that he's a fraud.
Well, I'm saying that he's misrepresenting himself when he calls himself a job creator. That's not what he was in his business, and that's certainly not what he was as governor. Massachusetts had a laggard record when he was governor. He ran saying the exact same things that he's saying now. I know how business works. I know how to create jobs. And when he became governor, Massachusetts plummeted to 47th in the nation in job creation. Wages fell rather than grew, even though the rest of the country wages were growing. It really was a record of failure. And much as with his business record, there are real issues about how he governed, the decisions that he made, and whether it bears up his self-representation as a kind of economic guru.
Well, his team would say that perhaps they were 47th out of 50, but they say, and they say on this day, that in his tenure as governor, more jobs were created in Massachusetts and jobs have been lost during the Obama presidency. So they say, even as you say it's a failure, it's better than your guy.
Let me say that 40 months into the Romney administration, they had created 4,500 jobs in the state of Massachusetts. 40 months into our administration, there's more than 20,000 new jobs in the state of Massachusetts. So if you compare our record to their record, apples to apples, 40 months in, we're doing a lot better than they did.
He says, Governor Romney would say, you know, he took office in tough economic times and he had to deal with the legislature of the other party. That sounds pretty familiar to what the president says sometimes. Is it a good comparison?
It does. You know, the thing about Governor Romney is that he's fond of having two sets of rules, whether it's in business, where, you know, companies go bankrupt, he walks away with millions and the workers get caught holding the bag, or on something like this. When you know, we took office in the teeth of the greatest recession since the Great Depression, 4 million jobs lost before we walked in the door, and he finds that unpersuasive. So it's a little hard now to turn the tables and say, in a much milder recession, that he had such a tough time of it. The fact of the matter is every state was living through the same recession, but Massachusetts underperformed.
You called him a drive-by governor, saying that he took the job essentially as a springboard to running for president. Didn't really care all that much about the people of Massachusetts. Again, forgive me, some people say that about Senator Obama. They say he came to Washington, he missed a lot of votes, was quickly running for president. Is it fair to, if he's a drive-by governor, did you have a drive-by senator?
I would only judge from the polls, John. The last poll I saw in Massachusetts, Mitt Romney was behind in his home state by 25%. President Obama is well ahead in Illinois, where he's held in high esteem for the service that he performed. Nobody ever doubted his commitment to the state or to the middle class in the state, or to building the kind of economy that would work for all people. And, you know, that's not the impression that people in this state had.
I'm calling this in-your-face day in presidential politics, in the sense that you're leading a rally on the steps of the Massachusetts State House. Governor Romney is about to make an event appearance at Solyndra. What would you say to the Solyndra attack from the Romney campaign?
I would say one thing the president never did was buy a company, load it up with debt, bankrupt that company, and walk away with millions of dollars while the creditors and the workers were left holding an empty bag. The president's never done that.
Governor Romney would say, David, forgive me
Governor Romney
He would say the taxpayers are being left with the bag in the Solyndra decision.
The fact is that we will, over the course of this first term, have doubled the use of renewable energy in this country. There are jobs being created all over this country as a result of those investments, and we've planted the seeds of a whole new industry that will allow us to compete with the Chinese, with India, rather than withdraw from the competition for these clean energy jobs of the future. So I'm proud of that record. The country's going to benefit from that record. And the fact that Governor Romney is looking for a diversion to take some attention away from his own private dealings, notwithstanding, this is an important and meaningful initiative by the president.
To answer the critic who says you're up there trashing Governor Romney's record because you can't defend your own.
No, we've got $25 million on the air in those battleground states right now with spots on our record that we're proud of, and our vision about how you build an economy that works for the middle class, how you build an economy that is fair, where everybody plays by the same rules and everybody who works hard has a chance to get ahead. And we're talking about that all over the country. The guy who's ducking his record is Governor Romney.
Appreciate your time today, David Axelrod. I know you love
By the
your
way,
native
John, the
Chicago.
answer to that question was the answer to that question was Woodrow Wilson in 1912. 100 years ago,
Right.
someone got elected without carrying their home state. Just a little fact to tuck away.
Student of history, a student of politics. Appreciate your time today, David. I know you love your native Chicago, but enjoy what I believe is America's greatest city while you're there.
It's a great town. I love Boston. Thank you.
Coming up, what Mr. Axelrod has to say about the president's path to 270. 159 days out. Yes, I'm still counting. And more proof today that at this moment, the presidential election is a nail-biter. There's new NBC News Marist polls in 3 key battleground states. Take a look. Iowa, dead heat. Colorado, dead heat. Nevada, yep, dead heat. Now, those 3 are among the states here. We call them toss-ups as we look at the electoral map. If you see right now, I say the president has 247 votes, leaning or solid Obama. Governor Romney, 206, leaning or solid Romney. Those 3 states, Iowa, Colorado, Nevada, toss-up states right there. We got a very interesting map right now, and trust me, it's a slight early edge, but Team Obama, grateful.
They're called battleground states for a reason. They're battlegrounds. They're evenly divided. They're going to be close throughout. I think there are many more of them that are open to us than him. And that we've got as you say, we start with a bit of a head start. So I like our math in terms of getting to that 270, but we're going to have to fight hard.
Now, truth is, the president does have an early and important advantage and more room for error on his path to 270 electoral votes. But any historical model and the current economic climate tell you Governor Romney has a very, very good chance to be the next president of the United States. To get there, though, he and his team would benefit from remembering a little campaign 101. Someone, for example, should have prevented this picture from happening on a day that Donald was hyperventilating about the birther conspiracy. And today's event at stimulus poster child Solyndra was made for live cable coverage, except the Romney staff let it happen at the very moment George W. Bush was returning to the White House for his official portrait unveiling at an event that had been on the public schedule. Little things, sure, but in a very, very close race, never misunderestimate, the impact of good or bad advance work. And for those of you who think I'm just trying to pick on the Romney campaign, this lesson applies just as much to Team Obama. Back in May 2010, for example, there were many in the administration already warning that Solyndra was a disaster waiting to happen. But the president still took this tour and still said this.
The true engine of economic growth will always be companies like Solyndra.
Little things sometimes matter.